Welcome to ConvHERsations with Kristie, brought to you by Herverse, a community where women who lead, build, and grow come together. This is a space for real, unscripted conversations with bold leaders who are creating impact. No fluff, no filters, just honest insights to help you lead well and live fully. Because at Herverse, we believe leadership isn't meant to be done alone. I am confident you are going to love it. So let's get started.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode. Y'all, I am so excited. I have been anticipating this particular episode for quite some time. And so I'm super excited to introduce you to my friend, Lisa McCurdy. Well, welcome, Lisa. I'm so excited to have you here. Would you like to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Lisa McCurdy. I fell in love with EOS back in 2018 when I had a visionary. Did not know what a visionary was at the time, though. Hand me a book called Traction and say, let's do this. I read the book and totally drank the Kool-Aid and felt like for the first time I had a language to put to all the words and all the things that I've been doing for so long. And I started with my first company as a full-time integrator. And then I went fractional, and I've been living the fractional life since 2021 and just totally loving it. And then on a personal note, I am a total makeup junkie. I'm a fur baby mama. I have a kitty named Jet. Love her to death. And most times you'll find me in a messy bun and yoga pants and just like loving it, like working away on my MacBook Pro. So that's who I am in a nutshell. And I'm so excited to sit here today and talk with you, Kristie, who I met, years ago at FIM. I remember it was probably like 2020 was my first FIM. And wow. I got a chance to meet you for the first time there. And just was so inspired to see other women who are doing the same thing.
Oh, and it was so cool. Wow, that's interesting to think, man. That was 2020 was the pandemic and
2021. Sorry, not 2020.
Yeah, you would have probably met in Chicago for the first time then.
Chicago, yeah, that was my first one.
Oh, that's so seems like a lifetime ago, but then also it seems like yesterday.
Yeah. It does. So much has happened since then.
Yes. The world seems to have sped up since the pandemic. So
kind of, yeah.
Can we just take a deep breath for a second? Slow down, world. I need some time.
Seriously, that would be nice if there's a pause button.
I know. I have a feeling if we could create a pause button, we could be like gazillionaires.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk later. How are we going to do this?
I'll be the visionary, you be the integrator. Sound good?
Yeah, let's go.
Well, Lisa, I know one of the things that we have a lot of passion around and a commonality that we have is we are both really passionate about culture. And a topic that is so important to me is not just like that a company has culture, but that you have a culture of accountability, right? That's what
reach. Yes.
Yeah, that's what helps move companies forward. And so I'd love to dive into that topic because I know you're super passionate about it too.
Yes. You know, when I think back, when I first started my career, I didn't even know or understand what culture was. I worked at so many bad companies. The first time I worked at a company that gave me a Christmas bonus, I thought, oh my gosh, this is an amazing company. They treat me like crap for 364 days of the year, but one day of the year, they gave me a bonus. And so this is amazing. And so as you can tell, my standards for culture were really low.
Yes.
Until the first company I worked with, where we started EOS, I got a chance. It was a startup. I came in, it was a very small team. We were only about 12 at the time when I came in. And we got to grow the culture together. And it was so special. And I've taken that same love of culture to every company I've worked with. And what that looked like was me getting with the visionaries, because there were two. It was a brother and sister visionary duo, which right there, lots.
Yes.
And so
7 episodes right there on that alone.
Yes. Family relationships, 2 visionaries, making sure the vision's aligned, like so many things there. But what was special is that their core values 100% aligned. And I know for me, when I first started and we're going through EOS and like, okay, what are your core values? The three of us are sitting in the room and it was like, doom. It was so easy. Like, these are our core values. This is who we are. This is what we do. This is what we enact every single day. And what's so special is that we're able to use those to hire, to coach, and to let go when needed. And that created such a strong culture that I left that company 5 years ago, and I still get messages from those team members, from that vision, those visionaries, congratulating me on life events, like wanting to know what's going on. And so culture, why it's so special is because it's bigger than just the company, right? If you're able to embed it in a healthy way, it makes it seem like work isn't work because you're having so much fun with the people you're there with. Yeah. I remember it was really important for the team to like have some moments of clarity in the afternoon. So we started doing like a 5-minute afternoon yoga in the office just to like clear everyone's mind. So we felt good. When we would do team events, we had different people who had different dietary restrictions, and we made an effort to make sure that we had accommodations for them, which they'd never experienced in their whole life at a job, which I thought was really simple and little. And I was like, why is that a big deal? But it just, all these little things tied together where we're living out and enacting those core values that are coming from our visionaries and that I'm integrating into the company really make the company feel like home.
I love that. You brought up something that I've seen a lot of discussion around lately with some of the clients that I'm coaching, and also with some prospective clients that I'm talking to around, like, where does culture belong? Like, when you think about the accountability chart, like who is responsible for culture? EOS purity is that it lives in the visionary box, but then a lot of integrators feel like, well, culture is actually my responsibility too. So I would love to hear your take on that. Is it one, the other, both? Is it you tell me what you think, because I'm excited to dive into this.
I am totally EOS biased. I will say that. I'm going to start my answer that way. But I truly believe it starts with a visionary. This is the visionary's company. And if it isn't coming from them, and they aren't acting it out every day, it doesn't matter how much an integrator tries to integrate it into the company, it's not going to happen. It has to come from the visionary and like really just flow out, and it has to be natural. And that's another thing I've seen with different companies I've worked with. They have these aspirational core values that no one's living out. And if the visionary themselves aren't living it out and you're expecting your team to do it, it's not going to happen. And so it really needs to come top down from the visionary. And when it is truly their core value, when it is truly something they're living out day to day, you feel that. And then as the integrator, it makes it almost easy, because we will be in a meeting where the visionary exudes the core values, and they're just, I'll be honest, I like fun. And a couple of my teams, that's one of their core values. No influence from me. It just was their core value, and we just aligned. And so if the visionary is there having fun and like really trying to bring that fun into the meeting, it changes everything. Like, for instance, we just did an all hands. The visionary is a musician, and we thought it would be really fun to start the all hands and to end the all hands with music to like really get us going. And we got to the close, we started playing the music, and then the team's like, play. And they totally wanted to hear the visionary play. And in our core value of fun, he got out he had a ukulele at the time. He grabbed it because it was the closest thing. He's like, okay, let's go. And we spent an extra 5 minutes on the call just having fun, playing, and then the team being like, okay, next time, plan a song. We want to hear a song. And so again, you can't plan these things or script these things, but if you're truly living out your core values, it happens. And the feedback we get time and time again on our employee satisfaction surveys is it really feels like everybody likes each other and we enjoy working with each other. It's like fun to work here. And I'm like, yes, okay, that's what we want to hear. There are other problems we're working out. It's not perfect by far, but if our core values are there and we're living them, it makes adding in the accountability piece so much easier because we're being true to who we are by keeping people accountable. Because that same team, one of their core values is team, and like making sure we're working together, we're honoring what we do. And that makes it really easy to then slide in those accountabilities.
Oh, I love hearing you talk about that, because I think you're right. Like whether the core values are defined and lived out by the visionary or not, their values are the ones that the organization is running, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just so important to define them and to be able to be transparent around them
in an authentic way. Yeah.
Yes. Because I mean, listen, core values, I preach this so much. It is not something we just write down on a piece of paper and put into a drawer.
Yeah.
We live them, we breathe them, we interview with them, we have tough conversations with them when we need to. Like, they really truly need to be lived out in everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
And so, right, like it starts with the visionary. So if the visionary doesn't align with one of the core values,
doesn't work.
It's not going to. You can try and force it as much as you want to, but it's not ever going to be natural.
Agreed. And I have seen that many times where a visionary will say they want something, but they don't live it out. They say they want the team to have work-life balance. They say their core value is family and making sure you have family time, but they're consistently working 100-hour weeks. They're frustrated when team members aren't working on the weekend. Yep. So you're saying you value family and making sure that your team has a work-life balance, but your actions are the opposite. And in that instance, we actually did see quite a few people leave because they're like, hey, I was sold a bill of goods. You said that this is who you were, and this isn't who you are. And I ultimately ended up transitioning away myself because the visionary just wanted to do their own thing. And that's fine because it's their company and their core values and what they want to do. But if they don't align, then I have to make choices for me too.
Agree. So if the visionary is responsible for like the values being like coming alive from the visionary, right? That's kind of the way I think about it. Like it's really true. Like they make them come alive. What is the integrator's responsibility when it comes to values?
Yeah. So when I think of that, I think of LMA, right? Or leading, managing, and holding team members accountable. Yeah. And with the visionary making the values come alive, I then take that life and I just kind of implement it or integrate it into leading, managing, and holding accountable. And so let's say for the example of before, core value of team, a person's not meeting their expectations, they aren't meeting deadlines, they're not doing what they say they're going to do, then I very easily can come alongside that person and be like, hey, we have our core value of team, and we noticed over the past 2 weeks, XYZ, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't we living up to that expectation? And then the team member knows, like, we really do care about this. And so as the integrator, am owning LMA, leading, managing, and holding accountable through those core values, we elevate our team and we get the best out of them. Or people decide to self-select out because they're like, I don't care about this stuff. And I was like, that's fine. I want you to be happy. Go be happy.
Exactly. Well, and listen, it's one of those things that I've heard a lot too, because when somebody's not a core value alignment, we're having a lot of tough conversations.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and those tough conversations, every time we have to have them, they drain us and the person who's receiving it more and more, right? They don't want to have those conversations as much as we don't want to have it with them. Yeah. And you're consistently having those conversations. Like I hear a lot of people say, but I don't want to fire somebody. I get that, but releasing them to go find a company that they do align with, and then finding somebody for your team that does align with what you're doing and what your values are, it can be a game changer for both parties.
1,000%.
fired someone, and then they come back, 6 weeks later when they have a new job, and they're like, thank you for letting me go, because I wouldn't have made the choice to do it. But that now that I'm somewhere where I'm enjoying it, thank you.
It's so interesting, Kristie. I have heard that comment from visionaries so many times, like they're afraid to fire people.
Yes.
And I kind of flipped the script on them. And I was like, so do you think it's fair then to punish your team with this bad behavior constantly?
Yes.
Do you think it's that they'll stick around if they see that you don't honor your core values, you don't honor the accountabilities? It's like, which is more important, your team and the people that are enacting and doing the things you want to do, or this one person that might be a little uncomfortable for an hour as you have this conversation?
Yeah.
And I found by switching that perspective, they stop focusing on the one and start focusing on the many that they're actually negatively impacting. And I can't tell you how many times, similarly, it wasn't the person that we let go, it was the team that has come to me and said, thank you. Like that person has been basically a cancer. And they have been just driving everybody crazy. No one loved working with them. But then all of a sudden you feel like a culture shift and like everyone's happier, work production increases. Yeah. People are like, oh my goodness, it's so much better because they want that core value and that culture that we're pushing. It was just that one bad apple that was like, I don't want it.
Exactly. Well, and one thing I love to do too, when I'm getting that pushback, that hesitation, how much time are we spending on this one person when we could be pouring into our people who are doing really great work and really great things and rewarding them and recognizing them and professional development to keep them moving forward, all of the things that but we have this distraction that is preventing us from doing that, at least at the way that we want to, because we constantly are having conversations over here.
Yeah. I have a rule of 3. If the visionary has brought it up 3 times and refuses to enact, we have a difficult conversation.
Yes, I love that.
I love them. I truly do love them. And I see that there's fear. And so a lot of times that fear has nothing to do with the person or the company, but there's something in them. So we have to have a coaching session where we dig in and we're like, okay, well, what's stopping you? Why do you have that blocker? And a lot of times there's stuff that they're growing through that ties back to a bad boss of theirs or a bad situation in their life and them not wanting to exemplify that. And I was like, number one, that's a lie. It's not who you are. And like really starting to speak the truth over that situation, as opposed to kind of just get comfortable in the stories we've told ourselves.
Oh, yes. And the stories that we can tell ourselves is, that's.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're usually not true. I'm going to just put that out there.
Yeah. Agree. I want to go back to what you said too, of, culture is so important. And I'm so glad we're having this conversation, because it's so important to visionaries. I mean, I see them asking questions. I see them wanting to like really elevate and do things that are amazing. And I applaud them so much for that. From integrators that are wanting to really like move it and forward and integrate it into the company and make it just seamless. But one thing that we kind of started talking about was a culture of accountability, right? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, sure. So when I say a culture of accountability, I mean, we have a clear job description that not only has a wish list of items that we want to see, but we actually have clear measurables. Shocker. I know. Measurables?
Yes.
What? Yes. Everyone has a number.
Yes.
And that's how we hold people accountable. That's how it's not this like vibe of like, oh yeah, I think they're doing a good job. Oh yeah, I really like that person. But hey, numbers are numbers. You can't get mad at numbers, right? Like either they're performing or they're not performing. And then it gives you a really great foundation to have a conversation. Because I'm a big data nerd. I will always ask the question, well, what is the data saying? Like, what do we see here? Because numbers don't have feelings. Numbers are just numbers. And if we can have just an honest, frank conversation based on their performance numbers, 9 times out of 10, I have that person coming to me first and be like, oh my gosh, Lisa, I let you down. And I'm like, oh God, what just happened? And they're like, I told you this was going to go out yesterday morning. It went out in the evening. Like, don't do that to me.
Right.
It's like, when you say you let me down, sending something out in the morning versus the afternoon, like that's okay. That's really, but what that example shows is this high level of personal accountability that the team now has, because it is so clearly defined what their expectations are, what their measurables are, and what they're expected to do every single day, that they own that so purely that they then start leading you, and they're coming to you and saying, Lisa, okay, we had this issue and we tried XYZ. We realized Z is the best solution. We're enacting that. You're going to see that rolling out next week. And I'm like, yes, good job. Okay. You heard me. You heard me. Like all the times where they would come to me and I would flip the script on them and say, okay, well, what do you think a solution is? Because that's another place where visionaries will become a bottleneck, is they will feel like they have to give answers to everyone. But in my role as the integrator, I'm there to empower and to elevate team members. And how do we do that? We elevate through challenge and through questions. And so if we aren't giving them a challenge to overcome and questions to help them get there, then what are we doing? We're going to be in the same place we were 5 years ago. And that's not helpful for anyone.
Agree. Yes, 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 and yes. All of the yeses. It is so important, because I think sometimes a term that gets associated with integrator sometimes is it's a negative, where they're always the naysayer. They're the one that always says no. They're the ones that always are, did you get things done? And we almost become like this. Yeah. Like sometimes I felt like I was the person who was like slapping everybody's hand, right? it didn't feel good for me, and it didn't feel good for them either. But when we had clear expectations of what everybody was supposed to be doing, and suddenly the team, number one, was going to the right person, because now they knew who to go to ask questions. Yeah. But now that team member could perform, they could really, truly not even just live up to the expectation for them, but they wanted to outperform, right? They wanted to do really well. And now the team can also start to say, hey, Lisa, did we get that done? I didn't have to be the one that was always asking those questions. And the team holding the team accountable. Yes.
Peer accountability is I feel like that's the magic. If you can get to the point where their peers are holding everybody accountable, I feel like that's when you really start seeing that just speed increase. You said something just a bit ago, and it actually reminded me of my first visionary. He called me a dream killer.
Yes.
Which hurt my heart. Oh my God. It was a knife to my heart when he said that to me. And I was like, oh my God, no, that is not my intent. That is not what I wanted to do. And so what that taught me as an integrator was timing, because sometimes we need to give space to our visionaries to dream. And so I love the working genius model. We have wonder and invention. And so I will give my visionaries wonder and invention time. And I will sit back, because my geniuses are galvanizing and tenacity. So I'm the get it done.
Yes. Yes.
So I have learned as an integrator, I need to sit back and I need to let them dream, because otherwise I'm shutting down their unique abilities. And if I'm shutting down their unique abilities, then they aren't functioning at top potential, which means I'm not going to function at top potential, which means the team's not going to function at top potential. And so I've had to learn to bite my tongue, sit back, let them dream.
Yes.
And then as we get to the end of their dream session, I'll say, okay, of these 5 things we just talked about, what is the most important thing to you? And they'll say, oh, it's number 2. And I was like, okay, is number 2 so important that we need to refocus next quarter?
Yeah.
And then putting it in perspective where I'm like literally shifting work and asking them if we're shifting work, then that'll cause them to actually come back down to my level. You know what? It's a good idea, but I see what you're saying. It's a distraction. I was like, okay, great. We're agreed. It's a distraction. How about 2026? That could be one of our goals. And they're like, yes. Okay. But it's giving space to everyone so that the visionary feels heard and so that we as integrators don't feel like we're dream killers and we're like destroying everything. Because I don't know about you, but those negative labels like really hurt. I feel them. I'm like, ouch, no, that's not me. That's not my intent. But as integrators, sometimes we can get so got to get it done that we forget our impact on others.
Yes.
And so sometimes getting that feedback allows us to step back, take a clarity break, and ask a question like, okay, why would this feedback be coming at me? Is this true? Am I doing this? Oh, shoot. How can I change this behavior? How can I help my visionary succeed, which will help me succeed even more? And so that's what I've done. And maybe that'll help some other integrators out there.
I love that though, because I know you know Katie Sandquist, and her always used a phrase that totally like my heart hurt when I heard her say it, but also it's a kind of a funny little phrase. They said she would poke holes and kill dreams. And I was like, oh, bless your heart. But it was their way of like saying how she would ask a lot of questions. And so sometimes, as integrators, our first gut instinct is to ask 1,000 questions and to start putting a plan together and like start motion, right?
Yeah.
And what I have just been reminded of so much here recently is sometimes what you just said, creating space for them to ideate, envision, and share is exactly what they need in that moment.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to do some workshops in Q1 that I'm so excited about because we've created a philosophy around a visionary sandbox where it's an invitation for both the visionary and the integrator to come and play. And without giving too much away, with sand, you can build, but you can
build so many things.
Yeah.
It's not permanent.
Exactly. It's not permanent. And I can take down this tower over here and rebuild it if I want to. I can create I can do so many things. So I'm really, really excited about this workshop that we're going to be doing. But also it's a great reminder to the integrator, not just for the visionary. The visionary is going to dream and they're going to build and they're going to have a whole lot of fun, but it's also an invitation to integrator to stay in play mode.
Yes. I kind of look at it as different hats we could wear. I put on my play visionary hat and I'm like, okay, we're playing now. And I will be honest, my husband has helped me tremendously with them. Love him to death. He's like hardcore visionary. And early in our marriage, that was really challenging because he would say one idea, I would instantly build a plan as how we're going to do that. Not 5 minutes pass and he changes to a second idea, then a third idea, and then a fourth idea. And I'm building plans for all of these things. And I'm getting so frustrated because all he's doing is like changing his mind. And then it took us in a counseling session, bringing up the idea of blue sky. Why don't we just like have a phrase, blue sky? We're going to look up at the clouds because clouds, same as sand, they're impermeable. They move around, they shift. And now he can tell me, hey, I'm going to blue sky this. And that's something I've actually taken to my visionaries and I use with my visionaries now.
I love it.
And I know, hey, we're going to just look up at the clouds and dream. And so that's my play dream hat that I get to wear. And then I can switch over to my integrator hat once we've determined like, what are those priorities? And we can start putting on our poke hole hat and say, like, is this really what we want to do? But giving space and time for everything in between.
It's so important. It's so important. My friend, I knew we were going to have a great conversation and this was going to be so much fun. This was, you blew away everything I expected though. Thank you so much for coming on and fun conversation. This has really, truly just it's been enlightening to listen to you and to hear all your thoughts around culture. So thank you, friend.
Thank you so much for having me. This is always so fun. I always love chatting with you. So having this opportunity is an honor.
Oh, well, thank you. And I get to see you very shortly. So I'm super excited about that. So tell me, Lisa, if somebody wants to reach out to you and connect with you, whether it's this topic or another one, how do they connect with you?
Sure. So you could reach me on my website. It's cbltm.com, consulting by Lisa T. McCurdy, cbltm.com.
Perfect. Now, you know how I love to end all of my episodes.
Yes.
It's honor, empower, and inspire. And listen, if this is your first time listening to one of my episodes, first of all, thank you and welcome. We're so excited to have you here. But honor, empower, inspire means a lot to me. Honor is really, truly thinking about a woman of a past generation, someone who made an impact on you personally, or maybe just someone that you admire from a past. So, Lisa, I would love to know, who do you want to honor?
Okay, I'm going to do this and try not to cry. My mother.
Oh,
she was truly the first visionary I ever knew without knowing she was a visionary. She was the person that had 100 ideas a day, but she just was not able to execute on them. And I wish that I could have gone back in time and helped her execute some of her awesome ideas. She was making supplements before that was a thing, just because she knew, like, hey, we need to do this. And that's one of the many ideas she's had. And through her courage of just being willing to be different and never putting barriers in front of me and always saying, no, you could just do it. You could do it. You could do anything. Like, there was never anything that I brought up that she said was not a good idea. And so for that, I want to honor my mother today.
I love that. What is her name?
Mary.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful way to honor her. Thank you. And empower is really, truly recognizing a woman that you hope to empower in today's world, or a woman of a current generation that empowers you to be your absolute most. So who would you like to recognize and empower?
When I think empower, I actually think back to the visionary duo of the first EOS company I worked with. Her name was Jin Chan, and she was the first woman in leadership that empowered me and dreamed bigger for me than I could, and really enabled me now to dream big for other women. And to, like, put my hand out to them because I saw it demonstrated and I understood the importance of it. And that's why I'm here. That's why, like, I want to share and I want to help because someone helped me.
I love that. That's a beautiful, beautiful way to empower somebody. So thank you for sharing that. And then last but not least is inspire. Who is a woman of a future generation that you hope to inspire?
I hope to inspire all the little girls that are out there in kindergarten who have these big dreams of being like a CEO or running a company. And I want them to know that it's possible. Not only possible, but, like, there are people that are going to help you do it. And I want to be one of those people. I want you to have these big, huge dreams, and I want to help you build them.
Made me a little emotional there. Thank you for sharing.
Me too.
And that's okay. Your heart is so beautiful. And I'm so honored to know you, my friend. Again, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. Lisa, thank you again for being here. It's been an absolute honor and privilege. Y'all, I hope you have a fantastic week, and I can't wait to see you again next week.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of ConvHERsations with Kristie. I hope you're walking away with a few nuggets of inspiration, maybe a new perspective, or just a reminder that you're not alone in your leadership journey. If this episode resonated with you, share it with a friend, drop us a comment, or tag us with your favorite takeaway. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep showing up, keep leading with heart, and keep building the kind of life and leadership that feels true to you. I'll see you in the next ConvHERsations.